Hey everyone, it's Orange. Welcome to another Guardian 1 Rush Hour commentary. Before we get into the commentary, I first wanted to give a very big thank you to everyone who is subscribed to me. That's because about 30 minutes ago, I hit 10,000 subscribers. That is a lot of people, and I would also like to thank anyone who has supported me over time, whether it's with like a big donation or anything as small as leaving a comment or a like, anything like that. And also, I would like to thank, this is like a weird thing to thank people for, but anyone who has liked my videos and it's made them happy, that kind of means that I'm sort of doing my job, along with somewhat teaching Summoner's War. So I think this is a very awesome video to hit 10,000 subs on. My second time Guardian 1 ever. I'm bringing you guys all the secret strats, the elite strats, to teach you guys how to do it yourself. Farm those runes and get to Lushens. Yes, that's the secret strategy. Now that the thank yous are over, we can get into the video. So, for offense, I will be using my double Lushens along with Bernard and Megan, and occasionally I will use Shimate the Wind Sylph in place of one of those Lushens for his leader skill, and with that team I will fight other speed lead teams with equivalent or lesser speed leader skills. But the teams have to be pretty squishy for me to fight them. While we're kind of warming up and getting into it, Rush Hour just started. I will be using the first 30 minutes to climb up to High Conqueror 3, Low Guardian 1, and then I'm going to be using the last 30 to pretty much battle as much as I can and hope that I land in Guardian 1. So right now we're kind of warming up, and I'm fairly low ranked, so the odds that I win these matches are pretty high as long as I don't choose anything too ridiculous to fight, which I end up choosing. So right now I'm gonna kind of go over the general stats and stuff, talk about my Lushens and my defense. For defense, I showed you guys the one that I'm using for the first 30 minutes. That's just the one that's gotten the best results from defenses that I've tested. I think, was it last week? It was like a couple weeks ago. I was using Veramos, Bernard, Theo, Ritesh, and that defense did alright for the first 30 minutes. The first 30 is pretty uneventful. It's hard for me to say if people didn't hit my first defense that I'm using because they didn't want to hit it or because it was a really dead rush hour. My first defense that I showed you, the Veramos one, only got hit 3 times in the first 30 minutes, and it won 2 out of those 3, so that was pretty nice. I'm also going to include screenshots from the one that I took at the beginning of Rush Hour, the one that I took when I set my Mummies, and also at the end, because I like to monitor how each defense is doing and how I'm doing on offense for all of those times. So a lot of me checking the time and like showing you how I'm currently doing is kind of just to show you guys like what time it is and stuff. So going into this, I pretty much knew what my strategy was. Use the first 30 to kind of take some slow fights, try to hit people that are high ranked so I can get a lot of points, climb up to High Conqueror 3, Low Guardian 1. Generally that's not an issue for me, and then the last 30 really battle it out. For the last 2 weeks I've gotten a lot of consistent data that kind of told me that I should alter my strategy and do it that way. Last week I started my offenses too late. The week before I set my defense too late. So this week I had a feeling that the last 30 minutes setting my legit end of rush hour defense and also doing my attacks seriously and picking up the pace a lot, that was going to be the perfect time to do it. So when we get to about 30 minutes when I set my Mummies, I will slow down the video because I start attacking a lot faster than I am right now. This defense right here, I was just kind of dicking around, and I shouldn't have hit this because there's a lot of fire monsters here. I just kind of felt overconfident, and I felt like, oh, I'm low ranked, let's hit this and kill these fire monsters with solutions. But that ended up backfiring. So let me let me parse my mind and see if there's anything else that I need to go over before we start looking at some of these teams. My Lushens, I did change them a while ago. Like I said, it's been 7 weeks since I got Guardian 1 for the first time, and that one was just kind of sort of lucky. I mean, I didn't put too much thought into it, but over the past 7 weeks, I've done a lot of troubleshooting, and I think I have things stable where they're consistent, meaning how my Lushens are built and how my Mummies are built. So my first Lushens only doing 7,000 damage per card, which means that most Nemesis healers will not interrupt me. I haven't been as high ranked as I was in this rush ever really before, so the higher I go, the more Nemesis healers will probably cut in. I would probably say in High Conqueror 3, maybe 5% of Nemesis healers cut in between my Lushens based on how much damage they're doing and how fast they are. I'm going to show you guys their runes at the end. So the overall thing to kind of remember about them, you can check out their runes, is that the first one only does 7,000 damage per card, specifically to do small damage so that he doesn't give Nemesis monsters that much attack bar. And then the second one's doing as much damage as I could make him do while keeping some good speed on him. And my Mummies, I built them tank Mummies recently because the Mummies are really weak to bruisers. So I felt like building them tank Mummies is a really good kind of compromise where they can defend against bruiser teams and also people who are trying to beat them for what they are. Or maybe not that, but to defend against what they're good at defending against, double Lushens and other sort of things, like cleave teams, sort of. It kind of depends. I don't fully understand how the Mummies work, but if anyone tries to double Lushen or Julie Lushen them, I think that's going to be a very bad idea, and I think that tankiness helps, especially with Julie Lushen teams. My Mummies, since they're so tanky, are going to force people to use big skills on them to kill them. And then Freya I made tankier too, because I'm guessing that my Mummies should be able to survive 2 Lushens if they both amp, and then Freya can die on the second amp because both Mummies will survive, and then Freya's going to die and heal them both up. This one here is another mistake. Again, I was kind of experimenting to see what would happen. Generally, I don't hit Nemesis healers when they have Leos because Leos make the Nemesis stronger because of Leo's passive. So I'm holding on to hope, but you know, that didn't work out. Again, it's just the first 30 minutes, so I can afford losses like this because the real rush hasn't started. And I don't think people are rushing for the whole hour just based on what I've been seeing for the past 3 weeks. I've really kind of been trying to keep track of data, and nothing's really happening for the first 30, but then for the last, 30, 20, 15, a lot of stuff starts to happen, and my defense starts getting hit. So that's kind of interesting. So I'm pretty confident that no one's really attacking right now, so I can lose some things and stuff like that. This defense right here is fairly risky for me to hit the higher ranked I go. The Wusa I really don't like. I don't struggle against Wusas at all, but with the HP leader, Rakan, and a Nemesis healer, sometimes my Lushens can fail to kill these tanky teams because, like I mentioned earlier, I did nerf my Lushens so that the first one's doing very small damage. So some of those tanky teams I've been having problems with. I've thought about putting my Megan on a fight set that might eliminate my problem because sometimes they barely survive. So I don't know if I can get good enough fight runes for her, but I might see if I can do that sometime soon. This light team, I don't know what's going on with it, but I end up just, double Lushing it and it died. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to talk about. I don't think so. I think I covered everything with my Mummies and my Lushens. They have changed since the first time I got Guardian 1. They did improve quite a bit with their speed. They're both close to about 200 speed on each of them. My Bernard stayed the same speed. Megan's kind of been whatever. She's actually gotten a little bit worse over time. This team with Triana, the Wind Heart Magician, I've been hearing that people have been having success with her in Guardian 2 and 3, But that team we see there, I just double Lutioned it and everything died, so Triana didn't really get to use her passive at all. I haven't seen too many though, like down where I'm ranked. I mean, it's not really down where I'm ranked, but compared to Guardian 2 and Guardian 3. So right here we have another Nemesis healer. I'm just going to double Lucian through everything. Reteshes generally survive, so I was very aware that it would probably come down to a 2v4, and I was confident that I could win that 2v4. So a lot of times before I fight things, I have to assess which monsters will survive. Generally, I can leave some stuff up and still win. Sometimes that's what my strategy is going into it. Veramos, sorry, my lips kind of got stuck together because they're getting dry. Veramos, I think he has a low base HP, so Veramos generally die. Same with Praha. I'm not sure what her base HP is. Maybe it's just because people build her squishy. But a lot of things that I'm fighting is just things that I've remembered. Just I have a feel for what my success rate is against these monsters, and that's how I pick my fights. One monster that we'll see a little bit of in this rush hour is Ganymede, the wind. That defense I shouldn't have fought. I think I was just overconfident. Oh, hold on, actually we're testing a damage range here because I think I felt like I got unlucky and I got like the low end of the damage range, and I actually come back here and win this because I rolled a bit higher. So we're going to see a bit of Ganymede, and Ganymede's base speed is higher than Bernard's. A good thing about all my monsters, or more specifically my runes, is that I have a lot of will runes. I was talking about this earlier, but then I kind of forgot. So I was saying how my Lucians have gotten better. So my Megan's on will, both Lucians are on will. I think Megan was on will when I first got Guardian 1, but neither of my Lucians were. And also, every single monster on my AD is on will. My, last 30 minutes AD, the one that's really putting in work for me and getting me Guardian 1, Rena, Double Fire, Mummy, Freya, and... Sorry, I had to adjust my headset. Again, we have a team right here that can be risky the higher I go. I'm assuming the rune quality goes up on people, but I'm able just to shred through that monkey, kill him pretty quickly. I've noticed that a lot of monkeys survive, though. With that HP leader, it can be dangerous. If the monkey's up and Rakan's up, it could turn into a sticky situation. Let me go back to what I was talking about earlier. When we get into the last 30, I'm going to slow the video down to normal speed and give you a full analysis of every fight. So don't worry if you feel like you're missing too much here. The Theo for this team really kind of made me want to attack this. And like I said earlier, Wusas don't give me any problems really. I can just kill them quite easily, or they die quite easily. That one survived, which was kind of interesting. No big deal though, I still win. So I was talking about will. All of my AD monsters are on will, which I think can throw some people off who think that they can Galley and Julie me or something like that. At the end of the video, I will talk about how I did at those 3 points. How I was mentioning I took a screenshot at the beginning, and then 30 minutes in when I set my mummies, and finally at the end. So right now I think I'm kind of getting ready to rush. Don't quite know what I'm doing and why the video is like this. I think I had to go do something real quick, like close my window or something, because it was getting cold, I don't know. But soon here, I believe I will be setting my mummies. Maybe it's a couple more minutes actually. We'll have to find out. So everything went really smoothly though, I feel. My offense success rate is something that I wanted to mention. I might have to do the math on it later on. I think it was 89% success rate, which is better from my first Guardian 1 finish. I only had an 80% success rate on offense. I believe that's what it was. So it did go up, which is good, but 80% success rate apparently was good enough to get Guardian 1 once. But I'm glad that improved. So I'm collecting some mana here, and I'm going to do a quick run of dragons. I think I only do one run, and then we're going to get back into it. I think I had to go to the bathroom or something. Yeah, I believe I did have to go pee because I was drinking water, and I'm like, let's pee because I don't want that happening in the last 30 minutes. I'm getting TMI on you guys, and I'm explaining how hardcore I am. Okay, let's go ahead and skip ahead. Okay, boys, here we go. We're out of dragons. You know, the bladder's empty. We're preparing for war. Here is the second screenshot that I took. I actually took it of this video, though. Wait, hold on. This should be before I set my mummies. I don't quite know. I'm checking, my revenge list, and I don't quite know why I'm picking these up right now. At one point, I actually made a mistake and revenged someone that I shouldn't have. I should have kind of let him sit on my list. The video's lagging. Uh-oh, what's going on? Oh no, I hope it's not because I'm playing it fast. Okay, I hope you guys saw that. I think it should be fine because I'll re-edit the video over this. Okay, so these dudes actually who I had a successful against, I'm betting that since I succeeded and since they didn't attack me again and prove that they can beat me, I think it's safe to pick up those wins right there, and I think I'm gonna save that other guy for a little bit later. So the video's frozen. I don't know what happened here, but I just went AFK, so let me go ahead and skip ahead to when I set my mummies. So one sec, guys. Okay, the video started playing again. I think I must have minimized my mirroring software or something like that. Checking my defense logs, and now we have about 30 minutes left, so I'm going to transfer the runes that I need to. I believe it's just this one rune, and then we're going to slow the video down and do a full commentary over all of the fights because I started attacking quite fast. That was the speed that I felt like I needed to attack to get Guardian 1, just because of how specifically last week, how it went. Because I took a lot of hits, and I think the week before I took a lot of hits too, so I knew the hits were going to come in, and the best thing I could do is just keep doing offenses to keep up with them. A quick thing to point out that I've pointed out before with how I set my monsters is that I'm sure you guys know when you're doing attacks, every single attack you do, here's the middle screenshot, so we just have 30 minutes left of rush. I believe that's the correct time. It should be somewhere around 30. So something I pointed out, when you do attacks, you have to press in the bottom right of your screen to select the skill you want to use, and then you have to tap on the monster. So people with Lushens like me, I tap on fire monsters to avoid the crit animation from Lushens, and I order my monsters with the hardest to hit on the furthest left. So in my mind, I'm picturing someone trying to kill my Rena, but struggling because like they have to reach really far and stuff like that. So it's like a small tip because my Rena's probably going to be the last one alive. So if you can annoy someone or cause them to fail or mess up their combo, even if it's only a 2% chance, it's worth it to do. So I just, it takes like 2 seconds to order them a particular way. So that's what I did. We're going to go ahead and slow down the video here to normal speed. And then we'll go ahead and jump into the hardcore analysis of the last 30 minutes. So I'm trying to get an accurate screenshot of what my defense did because I don't know when this updates. Claytano said that there's a trick with mana, and then someone else on Reddit, so I'm trying to get mana there to like do the trick. Someone on Reddit said you have to get the mana and then click on something, like I don't remember what it was, but I'm just trying here to get an accurate screenshot, mainly for myself, because I want that legit data. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna pick up the speed pretty quickly. This defense, like I've said before, kind of risky to hit because my first Lucian's not doing too much damage, and we have some very tanky monsters on the other team. Let's see what happens here. I end up killing most of everything, and then finally the Sekhmet. So those teams I know are a bit of a risk. The lower ranked I go, the lower risk they are. The higher ranked I go, the higher risk. This defense was a total mistake. I clicked on it because in my mind I picked up the pace and I'm like, let's go, 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 go. And then I accidentally clicked on a defense with a Freya. So I'm hoping that I can still win, and I know that I should probably focus Freya down first, and hopefully I can do it fairly quickly, and then amp everything else after that. Let's see, I don't quite remember what happened, and I'm just hoping that everything ends up surviving. Oh gosh, she gets healed. So let's see. Oh, okay, wow, I got a really nice, was that a crit? It was big damage from Bernard, and I kill her. I think I got pretty lucky on that one. And then I do my both amputations, and I'm kind of going slow here. I don't know why. I'm supposed to be picking up the pace. This is so much slower compared to how we were watching earlier. I'm actually going to speed the video up slightly. Let's see. Playback. Okay, I might go one more. Yeah, I think this is good. So now we're at 1.2 times speed. Okay, and now I finish off the arena, and then that is a win in the bag. Good to start off with a win. And right now I'm still hitting people that are at the top of my list, and I'm winning, but later on I'm going to be not picky at all. Again, I'm going to avoid the Leo with the Nemesis monster. So later on I'm going to be hitting a lot of people who are at the bottom of my list, or technically top. I say top, meaning bottom, but yeah, confusing. Okay, that one I decided to skip. Oh wait, actually, yeah, there were 2 fire monsters, Sekhmet and Rakan, so that one's a huge risk for me, especially with the HP leader. This one I'm hitting because there is an attack bar booster, but with Bastet is the attack bar booster. She also gives her team a shield, so I was expecting her to move first, but I was confident that both my Lushens would be able to kill all of these monsters. Bastets, I haven't seen them be too tanky because people generally build them with a lot of speed. And then we have a Water Fairy King, obviously squishy, Theomar's obviously squishy, and then Camilla is kind of the only one who's going to be tanky. So that one, I had a good feeling that I'd just be able to kill everything, even if Bastet got the shield. So again, we have the same situation here. I'm guessing that Bastet's going to move first. For some reason she doesn't, even though they have a 33% HP lead. But I'm confident that I can kill most things. I'm just really worried about the Triton over there, and he is on Nemesis, but he doesn't cut in, which is very strange. I don't know if people build them on maybe Despair Nemesis, but if he stripped my second Lucian, maybe I would have failed to kill everything because he took off my attack buff, and then if he's on Despair and stuns him, then it's even worse. So that was pretty nice that I got away with that match. This one right here, I'm using my Shimate team, and I use this team against squishy teams. So right here I'm going to be using my third skill on Chasun because Chasuns are kind of tanky, so I want to soften her up enough so that I can kill her. And I had a feeling she might be on Nemesis. Thankfully that one didn't move before my Lucian, so that was pretty nice, and then my Lucian cleaned up everything else basically. We will see a team coming up here with Jemire, I think, that I use this Shimate team against, and I win against it, but today I fought the same team I fought the same team, and the guy beat me because his runes were much better than the one that I fought in this rush why did I just say video, not to throw shade or anything like that, but sometimes you can really tell that some people's runes aren't as good as other people's, and the only reason I win some matches is because people's runes aren't quite there yet. So that one I believe was a risk. Was that an HP lead? I think I'm fighting all these HP leaders because I'm having good success against them, and then if I ever, if there's like too many fire monsters with an HP leader, I won't. What? Oh, this guy changed his team. Yeah, I remember this. Hold on, let me fix my headset again. It's falling off. Yeah, so this guy changed his team right before I hit him, and I'm just going to quit out of that because I would just waste time hitting him. I'm not going to win that no matter what, so it's better just to quit out and try to make up for it with some attacks instead of fooling around. So this team right here, Bernard moves before mine, I cut in, and I know the Praha has the speed buff, so now she's even more likely to move in between my Lucians, and she does, so she heals up. The Verad derps, I still have Will on my second Lucian, so he's gonna get his amp off, but he could have frozen me. I think I get pretty lucky on this one, actually. I'm gonna go for Praha first because maybe I actually should have targeted the Verad, but I think right there I was hoping to kill Praha off before she could predicted future, but I didn't, so she got that off. And then the Verad I think derped again right there, so I got really lucky with this one. And then I'm hoping that Rakan doesn't collapse and I get really nice crits on him, he doesn't crit on my Megan, and I finish him off. So I will not be fighting that guy again. If I remember, I don't remember if I remembered. Wow, rememberception. But yeah, I just don't want to do that because the same thing's gonna happen if I hit him again. This one, I'm risking, I think this guy's strategy is hoping that his Sekhmet is pretty fast and that she can move before most people's Bernards. I do have the will set. Sekhmet does have a skill where she can put your skills on cooldown. And of course, if she does that to one of my Lushens, if she was fast enough to move first, that would be absolutely devastating. But she's not fast enough, so I get my whole combo off. Everything over there is pretty squishy, and my Lushens clean everything up. So that beef stew guy, actually, I will be hitting quite a few times because he's going to revenge on me. But I have to make sure that he shows that he can beat me. So I made one mistake where I hit him where I shouldn't have because I pretty much gave him another free win, but I want to save him for last because I know that I can beat him really quickly. For this team, earlier I mentioned how we're going to see some Ganymedes, and I did say that they have a really fast base speed. I have a lot of will on my team, and Ganymede cannot reset will or push your attack bar back, and he can't reset either. So even if he does do stuff to me, there's a good chance that I can still get some damage off and maybe win. But the main thing I'm concerned with Ganymede is that he doesn't move before my other monsters, so I'm just going to keep fighting them until I start seeing some Ganymedes that do. This one with the Praha leader, I was pretty confident that I'd be able to kill it. Velajules I've seen have been pretty squishy. I think Velajule's base HP is kind of low, and especially when my Lushens did more damage together, Velajules weren't a problem, and I'm kind of risking that I'll be able to kill him. I do think I got lucky with those crits on Velajule, and then it's just both these Beast Monks. I'm going to be focusing the Ritesh down first because I can get a defense break on him easier than I can Kumar, and then I'm hoping that Kumar doesn't proc too much and doesn't heal, and that I can kill him. But at this point, the Kumar still can pull out the win if he gets some heals off. Actually, oh yeah, we're really close. Okay, yeah. So if I didn't crit there, I think I got all 3 crits. The Kumar could have came back and caused some issues. So, about the whole Ganymede thing, let's talk about this one first before I go back to Ganymede. So, the double Riteshes were kind of throwing me off, and I wanted to hit this because of them, but they can actually be pretty legit, I think, because they can survive my combo. This guy's building 3 really tanky monsters. The tank Milla, I think she wants some unique runes, but maybe his runes got spread a little bit thin. That's what I've been finding, that when I build my Rena and both my Mummies really tanky, I can't really build any other tanks that are good, like Guardian 1 quality. So that one could have gone much worse if this guy's runes were a little bit better. Okay, back to the Ganymede thing. Maybe I should start testing other monsters like Orion's with 24% leads. I've tested some of those though, and they outspeed me, so maybe I shouldn't, but some people have told me that I should fight those. So here for this team, the Tiana could have been on Nemesis, and she could have taken my buffs off. I believe I still would have moved before that other team though, because there's no speed lead, and Tiana only boosts up 30% attack bar, and unless other monsters on the other team were on Nemesis as well. But from my Bernard, I got 30% attack bar, and from my Megan, I got 20%. Also, the Iris, the monster on the other team, the Light Magic Knight, I've never seen any of those do anything, but I think she's came into popularity recently because a lot of people are talking about her and using her. So I'm curious to see what she actually does because I haven't seen one work at my level of play. So here we have a Nemesis healer. Again, like I said, I'd probably estimate 5% of Nemesis healers cut in between my Lushens in High Conqueror 3, and then obviously the higher I go, the percentage probably goes up. That one did cut in front of me. Thankfully, that guy has a very easy to remember team. I think I will see him a few more times on my list, and I'm going to skip him because I know the exact same thing's going to go down. I have no way to beat that team. Besides maybe bruisering, but that would take a long time. My headset's slipping off my damn head, so I'm just gonna skip that guy. Here, again, like I talked about earlier, when I look at this match, I'm analyzing who's gonna be alive and who's not. I actually missed 2 of my crits on Sierra right there. So I was guessing that the Sierra and Orion should die to my Lucian and Shimate combo, and it would just be Rakan and, what's her name? Praha, and I had a feeling that I could beat that, and Praha doesn't have the HP leader, but I did miss both of my crits. I only crit once on her with my Lucian, so maybe things would have gone differently, but I'm not going to risk that again. I didn't feel like I had a good chance of winning. If I fought that guy multiple times, I didn't feel like my odds were that good, so I'm just going to skip it and find something else. We have Beta here, a Nemesis healer. I don't know if this one is on Nemesis. Also, a monster that I've been seeing a bit more of is the Dark Lich. This guy has one. And again, just like with Iris, I haven't seen Dark Liches do anything. One actually did a bit of damage to my Lucian, but didn't kill him, so I've never seen those succeed at my ranking, but I've seen them come up in popularity. I'm checking my... Wait, am I checking my revenge list? I didn't quite see. Oh yeah, I think I am. So again, this is the same guy. Earlier, I forgot his name, but I know that I can beat him very quickly, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. At one point in here, I made a mistake, and he did demonstrate that he can beat me, so I probably shouldn't be fighting him and revenging him, but I do want him to be on my list, because I know that I can beat him very quickly in the last couple minutes just to secure Guardian 1 for myself, and he is giving me pretty good points, 9 points right there. Let me scoot my chair back and readjust. Okay, so now we're back on the offense. One thing to mention is that we have the new arena layout this week. The general consensus, I think most people aren't too happy about it, how it doesn't show your rivals and stuff. It's pretty hard to revenge people because from what I saw, it just kept putting me back at the top of the list, so I had to keep scrolling down. Again, we have a pretty squishy team. Ganymede, Dark Horse, Praha. I know that they will die to my Lucians. Generally, from what I've seen, all those monsters are squishy. And then was there a Veligil? Can't remember. But that Veligil got taken down pretty far from my Lucians, so Praha didn't cut in, as expected for the most part, and I wiped that one out pretty quick. So I was talking about something a second ago. I hate this when I'm talking about something and forget. Oh yeah, so we were talking about the arena layout. So I think it's pretty hard to revenge people, and that was kind of what I wanted to do this week, not revenge people, because that's kind of ended up badly. And a surprising thing is that I'm able, so that guy right there I think was the same one from earlier whose Praha cut in, so I'm just gonna refresh my list. An interesting thing is that I was able to hit a lot of people. Maybe it just took me a bit of time to get comfortable with my new Lucians. This team is definitely a risk because 2 fire monsters, Eladriel can be really tanky, and the HP lead with Eladriel, that can be very scary, but I guess I risked that for some reason, and that guy, he actually revenged me a couple times, so I remembered that I can beat him too, so I have 2 people who I can beat in like 2 seconds, but that guy actually changed his defense later on, so I couldn't beat him. Again, we have Praha's generally squishy, so she's gonna die along with Ganymede, and then I was assuming it would be the Water Panda and Rakan, and I was pretty sure I could clean up at that point. So yeah, I'm getting comfortable with my Lucians and remembering what they're strong against and what they struggle against a little bit. Again, here's a team that's sort of a risk. Okeanos's, from what I've seen, have been pretty squishy, so I have a feeling that I can take him down pretty easily. Maybe people build them with damage. I don't know what the deal is with them being squishy. or maybe they have to build them fast. Wind monkeys can sometimes survive, that one didn't. Again, people, farm your runes, because sometimes, I'm sure in this rush or in multiples of my videos, you will see a team beat me and the exact same team not beat me and me just destroy it because people just have different runes. And that's what I've always done, like ever since I started playing Summoner's War the first day, well maybe not the first day, but sometime early on, I realized that it's much better to farm runes over getting nat 5s or over summoning, because even if you have nat 5s, you're going to need really good runes, and the game kind of falls into place like that. Once you complete the game and do things, let's talk about this match. Again, pretty squishy. Bernard and Sierra are going to be gone. Lycas, people generally build pretty squishy too. So it's going to be a 4v2, and then I'm going to take out Lyca here because this one was squishy. For the most part, I've never really seen tank Lycas. Vampire Lycas can give me issues, and they can come back and win, so I wouldn't be building those squishy Lycas if you don't need to. So I was talking... Damn it, I lost my train of thought. Runes, yeah, so my headset. So... Summoner's War kind of falls into place like that. Also, that dude, the niche guy, I've seen a couple times over the past couple weeks, and I believe I beat him every single time, so I saw him and I'm like, I think I've beaten this dude, so let's go ahead and see. This team is a bit of a risk because of the HP leader and the Camilla, but I think the Theo really kind of was a flag, an indicator that maybe I can beat this team. I think Theo can actually do some stuff, but Theo's so squishy. I kind of felt like, maybe this guy's runes aren't good because he has Theo on defense, but it's hard to say if that's a correct correlation. Okay, so Summoner's War. Once you buy all your guild flags, once you get all of your Glory Shot buildings fully skilled up, then that's when you buy scrolls. That's just, it makes the most sense. Like, if you have, if you can choose between two things and one is right and one is wrong, you probably should choose the right thing. And I think the right thing is to do things how I do them, or how I'm sure a lot of other people do them the same way, where you finish everything out first, finish your guild flags, and then you can go ahead and buy those scrolls and have some fun. And then you'll have runes to rune up those monsters with. Okay, this team, as we see here, it's giving me some issues. We have the HP lead and tanky monsters, and I'm not able to kill it. My headset! Okay, so... Oh, okay, we're testing another damage range. Interesting how I go for this. I don't know what I was really thinking when I went for these, because we had a fight earlier, I hope it wasn't the same guy, but maybe it was, where I felt like I got unlucky with the damage range, and I'm gonna fight this guy again, and then I get the correct range, or maybe it was crit, I can't quite remember, or I didn't see, but I beat him again. So it's kind of nice to be able to make up points like that. You know, it's pretty much like nothing happened. I didn't get anything done in the minute or so that it took me to lose to him and then win to him. So yeah, but I wanted those points back. I'm like, we gotta get this range, and then did this team violent proc? Some team in here had a lot of procs. I believe it was a Ritesh that was procking on me. Okay, so let's see, what am I skipping here? That one I think had some fire, and I was worried about the Triton on Nemesis. This one, let's see. I think we're kind of getting in that danger zone where the time is the time is going to be very close. So I'm trying to take things that are pretty safe. This one I should fight, yeah. So the Dark Horse, from what I've seen, have always been really squishy, so I'm feeling like there are a lot of squishy monsters here despite having the HP lead. I have Will to protect me from that. I do like having both my Lushens on Will. And then I clean up that team really quickly. That was pretty surprising how fast that one went. And I'm checking my logs. I think I only have time for about a few more matches. I believe we're in the last 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. because I know this beef stew guy can beat me, and I don't want to give him another chance to, so I'm hoping to revenge him in like the last 3 minutes, and hopefully he won't have enough time. I don't know what he's attacking me with, but I'm going to pick up this win here just to try to secure myself Guardian 1. And I think I was looking at my rank. I believe I was ranked 200 something. So I'm really close to getting it. I was trying not to look at my rank though, because sometimes that can kind of freak me out and distract me slightly, and I'll start thinking about things like, oh, I'm rank 150, and then I'll think, oh, but I'm gonna get hit. Like, even if I'm rank 150, I know I'm gonna be getting hit in the last couple minutes, so it's always safer, I think, to go for attacks. Right there we have Sekhmet and Perna and Camilla, all very tanky monsters. I cannot kill that, so I'm going to be skipping that one. Right here we have a speed lead, so no HP lead, and we have some monsters that I think I can take out. From what I've been seeing this rush, I've been doing pretty well against Velajuels, Riteshes without HP leads, so pretty sure I can narrow the team down to these monsters and then finish it off. So gonna go for Velajuel first because he's squishier and easier to kill than Camilla, and then Camilla after that. Okay, I think it's super close right now. Let's see, I know what the last match is. It is an interesting one. Let's see, that team actually right there, let's see if I go back to it. Hold on. Okay, there are a few teams in here that I might actually be able to beat that I skipped over. That team with that dude speed lead, I believe he ignores immunity. I'm not quite sure, but the other team I don't think could have done anything to me because I still would have had will on 3 of my monsters. Okay, I'm going through this list and we are very close, so I'm trying to play it safe. I'm thinking about hitting this team. We have 2 really tanky monsters though, Sekhmet and Camilla, but I'm pretty sure I can kill the Dice Magician and Annabelle fairly quickly. So maybe I could have won that, but I don't quite know all the Dice Magician skills, so I just chose not to fight that one because I didn't know what his skills were. This team right here, we have 3 really squishy monsters and Ritesh, so pretty sure I can kill everything except Ritesh and then just do some cleanup. And it's pretty nice to see a team like this versus all those other teams that we were just seeing. Sierra survives, but I'm gonna move before her, so that was nice. So yeah, it was nice seeing this team compared to the other ones because I just went over a lot of teams that I just can't beat. And earlier I was talking about how I felt like I could, I already talked about this multiple times, about how this rush, I felt like I could hit quite a bit actually, just with these 2 offenses, and one offense is pretty much the same as the other, like they're almost the same thing, compared to a couple weeks ago, but maybe my Lushens were new to me. That team, all Freya teams I generally skip because they take too long. We had a speed lead team over there with Tiana, and I just cannot do that. This dude I beat earlier, and it took me like 2 seconds, but he changed his defense up to have, was it Sekhmet and Rena? Something that just would have taken me too long. And I want to get another win in here before time's up because I'm pretty close to being pushed out of Guardian 1. Even though I'm ranked 200, I was like rank 192. That team I was thinking about hitting because I do have a lot of will sets on my team, but I wasn't quite sure what the Iris does, the Light Magic Knight, so I decided to skip that one, but I'm pretty sure I could have beaten that one, but like I just said, I don't know what she does, so maybe I couldn't have. This team, the dog picture looked different from the other guy because we did fight another Light Pioneer earlier who kicked my ass, or not, he didn't kick my ass, but the Praha cut in, but this dude looked like a different dude, so I fought this guy and then picked up a really nice, easy win here, and I'm not being picky at all. I'm hitting people at the bottom of the list. I think the most important thing for me right now is wins. That was my strategy. So here we're taking a risk, and I'm just hoping that my rune quality is better, or not better, but I'm hoping that my baby Lushen and big D Lushen can take out this team. So I killed, was that I believe it was a Molong and a monkey. This is a pretty big risk to take. So maybe it's not the last 5 minutes because I'm doing quite a few attacks here. So I'm going to clean Velajuel up here and then finish this one off. and keep rushing after that. I don't really know what to say. I kind of don't have any ideas. Let me think. Oh yeah, so one kind of thing to talk about while we're cleaning this one up is that I joined a new guild this week. I'm sure you guys remember my... Hold on, let's see what's going on here. Okay, checking my log and gonna do another refill. I haven't been keeping track. I believe it's like 3 or 4 refills at this point. I think it's 3 at this point, maybe 4. Okay, this one, here's the beef stew guy. Gonna pick up another win from him real quick. We're in like the last 2 minutes here. So I joined a new guild this week. I'm sure you guys know about So Fucking Epic. I did a summoning session with them for Christmas, and I'm fighting with them this week. They set full legit defenses all week, so we're gonna have some really tough fights, and they were helping me out earlier. I mean, they were sort of helping me, but they were like, hey, Orange, your defenses suck. Okay, they didn't say that, but they're like, have you ever thought about changing your defenses? So I'm gonna start working on Guild Wars stuff because I feel like it's time, and you know, since we're gonna have tough fights, I need to work on some Guild Wars stuff. I believe I'm going to finish off my Huadam, 6-star him, and put my Rena's runes on him for the week. Here is the last fight. Let's talk about this, then I'll finish off my Guild Wars talk. Okay, so I know we have about like 30 seconds left. See, it's only 21:59 right now, and that team outsped me, so I was really worried about what was gonna happen. I didn't know if the game registered the loss because I had a feeling the whole team was just going to move, so I don't know if the game system already knew that I lost or if I had to press play to actually finally lose. So I'm asking my guild members, like, what, do you guys know what's happening? Or what happens in this situation? Eventually, in about 4 minutes, I press play, and my Bernard actually cuts in, and he's going to move but before the other team moves. So I would have won this one, or maybe not won. I don't think I won, but I would have not lost. So, you know, since my Bernard cut in, I can just not use any skills and just sit there and wait for the time to run out. And I was also hoping that this weekend it didn't go over, because 2 weeks ago, I believe it was daylight savings time, the last match counted, and I was pretty scared if I lost this one, I wouldn't get Guardian 1. So let me go ahead and skip ahead to when I press play, and then I'll wrap it up and talk about the overall stats and all that good stuff, and the Huadam Guild Wars thing. So let's go ahead and skip ahead. Okay, so I finally pressed play, and here's my Bernard cutting in. I could have just not used any skills right there, and then they actually moved before my team did. So I lost that one, but it didn't count, and it gave me the message. So that was the end of Rush. Let's go ahead and check out the other video with some of my runes of my offense and my final stats. Okay, here we are. So I waited the hour, and there we go, Guardian 1. Checking my logs to see who hit me at the end. I didn't take a hit at the very end, but my Mummies did take quite a few hits. I'm going to go over my runes real quick of everything just to show you guys the final stats, because I believe I didn't show my first Mummy's final stats because I had to put Veladril's rune on him or her, whatever gender the mummy is. I don't quite know because their name might be feminine. So those are both of my Mummies, and then I'll be showing my Lushens in a second. Okay, so my headset keeps slipping off my head. I don't know why. It's not done this before. Okay, so okay, here's my Shimate stats and my Lushens and Megan and Bernard, my Huadam Guild Wars stuff. So my 2 Guild Wars defenses, right now I'm using Galleon, Theomar's Bernard, which is pretty easily countered by Will and shield sets and any tanky monsters whatsoever. Everyone has nat 5, so that one I feel like is pretty easy to beat if you just bring tanks and some Will. And then my second defense at the moment is Veramos, Veladril, Ritesh, which can be copper bulldozered. If you copper the Vero, bulldozer the Veladril, I think my Veladril will die. I don't quite remember how much HP he has. My bulldozer right now is hitting 16k for 2 hits. So what is that, 32k? Actually, yeah, my Veladril I think has that. And then Ritesh, of course, has like a lot of HP, so you can't really copper that, especially with the HP leader. So that is the final stat there, the final stats. So my guild members were helping me today, and they suggested for my first defense to be Theo, Chisun, Huadam. And I think if I put my Rena's runes on Huadam, he will have enough defense to not be coppered. I'll have to do the calculations though, because it's just pretty simple math on that one. And then my second defense is going to be, I think, Veramos, Ritesh, Orion, or Orion, Veligil, Ritesh. So we'll see how that goes. Free rune removal's coming up next week. I've been doing so much rune stuff over like the past 2 months. I've done so many re-runings, so we'll see if I end up doing that stuff. I'm pretty sure I will, because I'm really like fresh and I'm ready to rune stuff and do better in Guild Wars. On offense, I got my ass kicked. We're fighting some guild. I'll give them a shout out because they kicked my ass. Heroes VN. Yeah, I think I lost 2 of those, I think, and I drew the other. So that was a bit of an eye-opener, but you know, what's that Adventure Time quote? You gotta start. The first step to being kind of good at something is sucking at something. So sometimes you just got to get your ass kicked a couple times to figure things out and fix it. Okay, so that was pretty much the strategy, double lutioning. I showed all my stats and how much damage they're doing. I'm going to link you guys the damage formula down below. If you kind of teach yourself how to do the math, you can figure out how much damage anyone's Lucian is doing. So it might be kind of helpful to look at top ranking players and see how much damage their Lucians are doing. That's something that I need to be doing. Yes. Chuffles' Lucians were doing not that much damage, but I checked a couple other people's Lucians and they were doing a lot, but this is just kind of what worked out for me. So I'm glad that I finally came up with something that's working in Guardian 1. And I'll keep farming those runes. Let's go over the final stats. I'm going to have it on the screen for you guys. I'll have the stats for how I did for the whole hour, and then for the first half hour, and then for the last half hour, so you guys can check everything out. My mummies took a lot of hits. They had 1 successful out of 16 hits. So, I mean, maybe that's not a lot of hits, because I did a lot of offenses in that time. And you guys can see how many I did to keep up with that. New high ranking, rank 181, RIP rank 269, but I can always strive for rank 169 and rank 69. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, thank you for 10,000 subs. You guys stay awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like and subscribe. I guess I've never said that before, but sometimes it helps to remind people if they really liked the video. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch you guys in my next video.